Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Melanie here, and we're going to be jumping into some Valentine's crafting. And I've got all kinds of fun stuff here. This is going to be a little bit more intensive project than we usually do, but I have these cutting boards and I've been wanting to do something with them. And so I thought this is it's the perfect time. It's the perfect thing. So I'm just going to jump on here really quick. I just want to make sure that I am live on the page and we don't have an echo. If you are seeing me, say hi. Oh, there we go. It's the perfect time. It's the perfect thing. All right, I'm excited. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I have here. And again, my name is Melanie with Christian Craft Paper. If you love the word and you love crafting, then you're in the right spot. This is for you. I'm going to be playing with this month's rub-on transfers, which are the theme for this month is rooted in love. And I have used one of these already. We have that block sign here. Oh yeah, we used it last week for our little mini block sign. Let me put it here. So we did this one. Let all you do be done in love. And then it also has the cute little rub-on transfer here. And these little kits we put together and they did sell out on the website. However, I just added more this morning. So there's a few more in there this morning, and then there'll be a few more in the next couple days as well, because we still have more products coming in. But this is the transfer that's missing, those two. So that's the set I'm going to be using. And I'm going to be using one of our cutting boards. Now this one I think is 8 or 9 inches. Let's check. Oh, it's 12 inches tall is what we're using, and it's like thinner. So we're going to be using that as our base. And then some things that I have grabbed. So I've got a little pile here of my little scrap stuff for my scrappy bow. So I've got a buffalo check. This also has, these are literally like just little strands that I ripped off of one project that we were doing. And then I said, save these because you might want to use them for something. Well, hello, Miss Dina. I saw your live this morning when I was at the gym and it totally inspired me. So I wanted to do something similar, but you had just done it. And so we're switching gears, but your sign is so cute. If you don't follow or haven't seen Designs by Dina, she's on here. She made the cutest sign this morning using our, she did a square sign and she used this one on it with, it looked like scrapbook paper. It was so cute with little key charms and everything. It was adorable. So go check it out. But so I've got all the little stuff for my scrappy bow. I didn't know what I'm going to use for the center of the bow yet, so I grabbed both these. These are actually from our vintage buttons. We sell them in a 6-pack. They're super cute. They have like the Eiffel Tower, flowers. It's all like mixed, but I don't think I've ever used them in anything, and they're so cute. So I'm going to see which one of those I like best. Then I've also got 2 different colors of paint. I'm going to be doing like a 2-tone split here. So I've got plaster and ink, and both by Waverly. I just get these at Walmart. I've got some jute. I may or may not use this because I've gone back and forth on what I'm doing to the top. You're welcome, Tina. And then I've got 2 types of leopard print. So you can probably tell I'm going to be using one from this top sheet here. So we'll see what I end up doing with that. I've got some raffia. I'm probably going to be doing some dry brushing. I've got my Dixie Belle in brown, my antique applicator tool. I grabbed the tape, but then I realized I might not need to tape it, but I probably will tape it for my OCD. So let's just do that. So I'm going to, you're not even going to see this seam because it's going to be behind the ribbon, but my OCD really wants to have a line there. So that's what we're going to do. And maybe I go above and below. So kind of so you can get an idea. We're going to have this as a band here, but this will give me the option. I'm probably not going to paint anything in between here. So then I don't have to wait for either to dry. But this will give me the option to either go lower or a little bit higher, depending on what I feel. That's what we're going to be doing with that. So I'm going to start with the lighter color because I do want to do some dry brushing on the bottom. So I'm going to go in with the Waverly first. But I feel like we don't have a lot of time for these to get all these Valentine's projects done because time is going so quickly. And I can't believe how fast those heart signs sold out. A lot of you that are using your crafting cache, which reminds me, if you're not signed up for the new crafting cache, get signed up for it. It's on the website at the very bottom corner. You just enter your email and it'll send you a code. And when you enter that code, you're signed up. You don't need to have passwords anymore. You don't need to create coupons anymore. And then that's literal cash that you can use. Well, it keeps track of basically how much you spend, and then it will give you like literal cash to use at checkout. So way more easier. We're getting a lot of feedback from the members that they're absolutely loving it. It's so much easier to use than our other programs. So we did go ahead and load everybody over. So if you were part of the old system, which was called Crafty Credits, if you were part of that, we've actually gone through and moved all of your credits over and converted them into cash. So check in your account. Now it won't show in your wallet because we manually moved all those over. But if you go in and put something in your shopping cart after you log in, like you have to create a login first, then put something in your shopping cart and it'll show you if you have a credit at checkout. And it sits there as like a store credit. That's where your cash is going to be. And we have people that have anywhere from $5 sitting in there to we had one crafter that had $147 sitting in there to use. She has already used it, but there's a bunch more that have over 100 that have not used any of their crafting cash. So do make sure you go in and check and see if that is you, because the crafting cache, unlike the crafty credits, does expire. So it's only going to be in your account until the 31st of January, and then it's gone. So make sure you get in there and use it before it expires. But yeah, we had that going on. So a lot of the ladies are using their crafting cache on blanks, like our signs and our what do we have? Our coasters, like literally anything that you can craft with, which is super smart because you know you're going to be buying more papers as they come out. So it's super smart to be spending the cash on the project bases. So that being said, we've been going through a lot of the bases very quickly. Okay, so I'm just doing a two-tone. I'm going to have the black up here on the top, and I've got the plaster on the bottom. I'm going to try and not get this black on my mat. Not because it won't come off, but because I don't want it to get anywhere on my white. The black always scares me. Oh, I already got my finger. I feel like it just gets everywhere. But maybe that's just paint in general and me crafting. Totally possible. So we have a ton of brand new members in the club. It's been a little bit crazy. So our manufacturer has a holiday coming up and where they shut down for 2 weeks. We can't order anything. And so I've been trying to pre-order to make sure that we have what y'all need before that shutdown. And we have gotten so many new members in the last month. Well, we've gotten so many new members in the last 2 weeks that I'm now concerned that we're not going to have enough of the transfers from, because usually what happens is we release the transfers to the members. They have a month to, they all get their club shipments first. And then anything that's left over, we then release to the public. So like these ones I'm working on now, all the members are getting them. If they're a brand new member that are signing up, they're getting them right now. They're getting shipped to them. And then the existing members they already got them. They get them on the 1st. So I was helping Megan yesterday with some orders, and I'm not sure we're going to have any left over of the Rooted in Love. The way that it's going, if we do, it's going to be a small batch. Like maybe I'll have 25 left when they go to the public, which is amazing. But now I'm thinking I didn't order enough for the next few months to account for. I have enough for existing members, but to account for new members. So trying not to panic about that, but we always figure it out. We always do, but it's just been crazy that there's so many people that love this club and are so excited about it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and like just tear this off. Well, it's still a little bit damp. Hi, Miss Karen. Karen, you do love our clubs. Karen is a huge supporter. Karen is in all 4 clubs, and then one of them she's in twice. But she makes all kinds of lovely things, so I love it. I love that you guys are using them. I love that you love the club. It's all good. Okay, so I'm going to do a little dry brushing on here, which this always makes me nervous because y'all know if you've watched me before, I have a really heavy hand. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put away everything that I don't need. Okay, the key to this is be super light-handed. So I actually just use the lid here, and I'm just going to tap in this brush, and then I'm going to tap out the extra, which you can't even see me doing. Sorry about that. So I'm tapping out the extra there, and then we can take this all the way from the top if we want, because this is all going to be under ribbon, and then that way you know if you have too much on your thing, on your brush, it's going to end up here in the black rather than ruining your white. And I'm just going to go down from the top. And then that's just it, basically. We're just getting a little light just to break up the white a little bit. And that's all we're going to do with that. Easy peasy. Okay. Then I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to do my antiquing first, I think. And then I'm going to do, because we're just going to do the edge. Actually, I'll do the antiquing after. So the biggest thing you're going to want to make sure is that this part here is dry. So just to make double sure, I'm going to hit it with the heat gun. That's it. All right, so now we're going to go in and apply the transfers. So if you haven't worked with our transfers before, you're just going to cut out the design wherever you want. Keep in mind that you can separate things. Like if you just wanted to use the John part and not the whole 3/16, you just cut out whatever you want and then save the rest to use for another project. Okay, I'm going to put the black away because I feel like it's going to be a catastrophe. We'll just put it in the back there. Me and paint. I usually have Elizabeth here to remind me to get rid of the paint, get the paint out of the way. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball what I want to have happen. I'm going to use my mat here to help me line it up. Okay, I feel like I'm going there. I just want to get like a good, you're going to want to figure out, you know, where do you want to be in the design? And I think right there is good. So the goal is to line up this 1 Corinthians just a teeny bit above that section. Now when we're going to peel it off, we just want to make sure that we don't touch any of this here because that is the graphic and we want it to stick to our surface and not our hands. So we're just going to flip it over there and get us lined up as best we can. All right, now the transfers do come, the transfer sets do come with this little credit card burnishing tool. You can use that. I actually prefer our transfer tool, which Don't tell me I don't have one in here. So I usually have like 10. Oh, there it is. It's hidden. The precision transfer tool. This is what I like, just because I like this stick where I can get in here and really push it down. Now this graphic that I'm using is one of the ones that's more the whole thing is the graphic, rather than if we used something like this one. And let me actually go to this screen so you can better see. If we use something like this one, you can see all of these letters are all individual graphics. So we're going to have to really make sure we push down on each one of those letters. Where this one, when you saw the back, it was kind of all one big design. Whenever we put anything that's like a cloud or something behind it, it does make it a little bit easier to get off because it is one big design. We're just going to want to make sure that these letters right here, those are hanging out by themselves. So we're going to want to make sure that they're down before we go ahead and pull it off. And then this part will be pretty easy because these letters are all in there. Again, these ones are hanging out by themselves. So we're just going to make sure that they are sticking on there before we pull off. Don't take it off any faster than it's ready. Flipping back to the bigger side. And then again, just making sure that my letters and everything are on there. There we go. So the graphic is that easy. Let me see my back here. All right, I am going to cut so that it does go all the way around the back so that my back is finished. And then I've got to decide. I was going to put my bow up here, but I'm almost thinking I want my bow like right on top of this leopard, I think. So that being the case, I am probably going to want this to be a little bit on the higher side. And so having that break kind of gives me the opportunity to make these adjustments. All right, so I think that's good. So we're going to get the hot glue. Hi, Miss Linda. All right, so I'm going to put my glue there. Well, we're going to attach it here and then all right, I'm going to tack it on the back once, but I do want to make sure that one, I have it tight, and two, I have it kind of lined up where we're going to wrap around. I'm just going to do like a little thin. And that way we have it's nice and thin across the back. All right, and then I'm going to bring it across the front. I am going to just trim this up so I don't have as much of an overlap. It'll be hidden by the bow, but we don't need all that. Okay, and then I'm going to take the glue over both sides. And make sure you've got it pulled tight there. I seem to always get the glue on my nail. It's just a little glue. It's a little glue tag right there. This is where I need we're not going to see it, but okay. So we've got our little leopard bow or leopard belts. We're going to call that a belt. And then Linda says Linda says, oh, I'm trying to pop it up. It's not coming up. Linda says she hopes you're warm out there in Arizona because I'm freezing here in Florida. Girl, do you see I have a sweater on today? It's cold, which is very deceiving because yesterday we just rearranged the whole shipping room. It's super efficient now. I'm so excited. Megan loves it. But one of the good things was Saturday, it was kind of warm. So I had the window open and I was like, oh, this is nice. You know, we have fresh air in here. And then yesterday it looked nice. And I was like, oh, I showed her, I'm like, look, we can open the window and let some fresh air in here. And I opened the window and like an Arctic blast came through. And I was like, okay, maybe today's not the day to open the window. We shut that thing right back up. We're supposed to have a windstorm last night. I don't know if it ever hit, but there was some stuff flying around the porch when I was watching some TV last night that scared me and the little man, but my husband had already fallen asleep. But yeah. I know it's warmer than it is most of the country, so I really can't complain. But yeah, it's not as warm as I'd like it to be. I'm kind of over the winter because I feel like we didn't really have one. So it's like, let's just move on and pretend it never happened. So I just kind of hit the edges with the, what is this? With the wax. I'm doing it super light because we already dry brushed it. So I don't want to add too much to that. It's kind of like frosting. You like a little, you like a lot. It's a complete preference thing. Okay, we're going to start making our bow here. So I've got my 2 centers that I'm going to use for the bow. Oh, before I get too far on that, what I do like to do with these, with the buttons, again, this just gives it a more finished look. Oh, I cut that so fast, I don't even know where it went. Oh, right here. Whichever button I end up using, I am going to stick the jute through the holes so it looks like it's kind of sewn on there. I like that look, so I'm going to keep a little piece to do that with. So these again are just little scraps. I'm going to show you how I do the scraps. I have these fabric squares, and the key is figuring out which side to cut. But you're just going to cut a section of it, and then you're just going to rip it. And then you're going to get these little strips, these little messy strips, and I am just in love with them because I am not the best at making bows. These bows always turn out so cute, so it's just my go-to bow right now. So I'm going to do 4 of these, and I just tried to find some colors that would go with this but not clash it. There is a whole lot going on here, so I don't want to say it's not clashing. I am not a color expert by any means. I'm just going with what I thought would look cute. So we are mixing some patterns here. Don't worry, there's no fashion police. We're fine. Okay, so I'm going to start making X's. I like to start with the white on the back, and don't worry, we'll trim this up if you don't like all of the little things. It's going to give it some volume. Then I'm going to take some of my raffia here. Just going to rip out some. And I'm just going to grab it here in my hand and just bend it back and forth for the approximate size of what I have here. I'm going to put that this way, and don't worry, we're going to trim it up and give it a haircut here in a minute. Okay, so then I think I want some of these little tiny black ones. And again, these were ones I just ripped off of something else. I can't remember. It was one of the projects I think I did with the members, and I had mentioned like, hey, save these, because they were just the very ends. I was like, save these because you might want to use them in something, and here I am using them. We could use the bow maker for this. I don't know why I'm not. If you don't have a bow maker, this is the way that you do it. You just use X's. And okay, now we're going to add our pink. One thing I probably should have done prior to putting all this down is put something behind it to wrap it around, but that's fine. I'll show you how we're gonna do that. All right, and then I think I'm gonna finish it with some more of these little, because these are really skinny ones. Okay, so now we need some jute, and I'm gonna have to one-hand this. All right, and I'm just gonna take my X. I do want this to be the front, so I'm gonna turn it around the back. I'm making this way more complicated than it needs to be, but it's a Tuesday that feels like a Monday, so we just need a little grace today. All right, there we go. Again, I made that look way more difficult than it needed to be. Now, if you want the jute to show in your bow, you can like leave it. It's not really the texture I'm going for, so I'm going to chop it off, the little tails. And then I still have, here's my little piece for my button. I still have that. Okay, so now what you can do is you can take some of this and you can trim some of them. So maybe you want to trim some of them and maybe you don't want to trim all of them. And then basically I just really just mess it up. I think I'm going to leave like one loop, but I'm cutting all the rest of them. And then if there's anything that you don't like about it, like something's too long, you can go through and just chop it. You can make it the size that you want. And then the other thing that I like to do is come back with the antique. And then I usually come in here and like kind of soften up it's not even a white, it's like an off-white, but just so that it doesn't look so new. Again, as much or as little as possible. See, this one looks kind of long here. I don't know what's going on here. So we just give it a little haircut. Like obviously you don't want everything like the exact same length. Maybe you do. I like to kind of mess it up a little bit. Okay, so now, let's see what else I have. Trying to decide if I want to add anything else. Now, could use all kinds of different things for the middle of the bow. Like this is where it gets fun because you could use buttons, you could use another little bow. I also have like these are our burlaps. It's a little too big for that. We used a heart earlier this week or last week. We used a heart for the middle of the bow. All right, I don't think I'm going to add any more. You know me, always trying to add a bunch of stuff. Hi, Miss Pam. I've got Miss Pam joining us. Miss Tara, just caught you happen to be home because of the storm. Oh, girl, buckle up, stay safe. Pam, this is just an idea. It's not even an extra kit. We do have these cutting boards, but I'm using the transfers from this month, the Rooted in Love transfers. So that's what I used. So it's not a kit. Just giving you ideas of what to do with the transfers. Thank you. Miss Karen says great messy bow lesson without the bow maker. Again, I made it look way harder than it needed to be, but the point is you don't need a bow maker to do it. Okay, so here's the two buttons that I grabbed. I just wanted to see, I liked how this one had a little bit more pink and I thought maybe it would pull in the pink, but then I think it's kind of a distraction. So I think I'm gonna go with this one that does have a teeny bit of pink, but not a lot. Okay, so to do this, you're just gonna, I like doing this with the raffia because it's easy just to stick it in the holes, but you could do it with your jute as well. But it's just so much easier to do it with the raffia. But then you get like this nice like finished look to your button. So I'm just gonna twist it and just pin it down there with some glue. And then I'm gonna cut the tails off. Now we're gonna add more glue to actually glue it to the thing we're working on. Oh, Pam says she loves the, oops, wrong one. Pam says she loves that animal print. Thank you, Pam. I was a little worried. I had to go dig through my ribbon stash. I actually had to climb up in my bathroom tall cabinet because we have another bucket up there, because you know how it is. And because I knew I had some leopard, and I had this one, and then I had this thinner one. And I just thought this would be cute to pull out the leopard. I know everyone's not a leopard fan. I actually had a complaint earlier this month about this set of transfers, that it wasn't colorful enough. But I understand it's not going to be, every set of transfers that we do for the membership is not going to be for everybody. But I want to make sure that there's a little something for everybody. You know, if you are a leopard lover, I want you to have some options every once in a while. You know, it wasn't the whole package, but it was just a little fun. All right, so we're going to stick our bow on here first. And I'm going to go a little bit on the higher side. Got this red in there that is not what we're doing today. We're not doing red today. So you just kind of line it up with the hole there, and then we can go in with our button, which this is a clock, I think. I don't know. See, here's where my dilemma is. I think that's the one. But if I put that up on top, then this part is not going to be, it's going to be like that, and my OCD can't handle that. So our clock, we're going to go with the clock being off rather than the button not being straight, because I can't deal with the button not being straight. I don't know. What would you do? I got to have that. This has to be straight. That's the only way for me to do it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it wasn't that hard, I don't think. I mean, this one had a little bit more steps than really quick. But we weren't that bad. So cute. Okay, so again, this is just our 12-inch cutting board that we did the plaster. We did the black, the ink. It's called ink from ink chalk paint. And then we just dry brushed some of that black down, added the antiquing. We put the transfer on it, the little messy bow that again are perfect if you struggle with bows. I really don't think you can mess up a messy bow. If you could mess up a messy bow, I would have messed it up by now. Karen says she loves it. Let me move it over here so you can see it better. Linda says, oh, she loves it. Is it leopard, Linda? You have friends who like it, and I used to make things for them. Variety is the spice of life. Amen, Linda. That's the right attitude. Hello, Miss Elizabeth. Yeah, so this is just this month's transfer. So like I said, I feel like that one went super quick. I'm trying to see, like, yeah, I think that was like quick 15 minutes. I got other stuff. Let's do another block. Let me see where I got. All right, we'll get the white back out here. Ooh, maybe we can do a little sign to match it. I think we can. I got an idea. So we can do, because these patterns kind of go together, so let's do a little block sign to match it. All right, let me get another. I'm like, I need a big brush. All right, I don't need that big. Did I use both my big brushes? All right, well, this isn't the biggest brush, but we'll make it work. All right, we're just gonna cover this real quickly with some white. And I think this could be super cute. I'm just going to do the front. I'm going to take the antiquing around the sides. So this doesn't have to be perfect. We're just covering the surface. This is actually one of our blocks that we sell. So we have these freestanding blocks. They've been flying. My husband just made another 100. What was it? Monday on the holiday. I think he still has to sand them, but they've been flying out of here because they fit the exact size of the love letter transfers. So they've been selling like crazy. Oh, Elizabeth says she just got back from her home away from home. She's been traveling. All right, we're gonna hit this real quick. We'll bring out the antique stuff back out. It worked out great that these are brown and my antique is brown. That worked out great for me. All right, so we're just gonna hit this. All right, I think that's good that we can touch it. I'm gonna hit it with the antique. This block's a little wonky, so don't think your block's gonna look like this. I actually pulled this one because the way that we had to sand it, it's like really rounded on the edges. I don't think people would like that, so I pulled it for my own stash. I said, I will use it, give it to me. So we can be a little bit more aggressive on the blocks. I'm kind of doing this instead of painting the edges. You could paint the edges of black or something, but I'm just going to do some quick finishing. So I can just show you another quick project that you could do that would be super cute in a tier tray next to this one. All right, our back is a little bit unfinished, but I may do something in the back later. But I'm going to come around on the front here and just take it, I'm not putting any more on. Now this does have a little bit of dry brush look, so I am going to just ever so lightly. You could go ahead and dry brush it again, but my paintbrush is already in the water. Elizabeth says she can't wait to get the blocks. Is the block a 1x4? So technically they are 2x4s, but this is like, I don't know if this is man math, but my husband had to clarify to me, it's not actually a 2x4. It's actually less than 2, and it's like a 3x5, 3.5, which is dumb because I don't know why. I don't know why they measure like that, but that's what it is. So it's a little bit, it's like a 3.5, but yeah, it's a 2x4 is what I started with. And then we cut them just under 1, 2, 3, 4, just under 5 inches. He has them like exactly measured to fit the transfers. So if you cut it 5 inches, you'll be fine. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to be standing this one up like this. So I'm going to have the design go this way. And then I want to show you how you can, we're actually going to use 2 designs. So I want to show you, this one does have John 3:16 right here, but I'm going to cut that off. And I just had like another thought because how I'm using, there we go. So see, I just cut, and then the John 3:16 is still here if I want to use it for something else. But you don't have to use the design exactly like it is. Then same thing. I want this John 3:16. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to cut this portion out, and I'm going to use just the bottom here. So this is how you make it your own. So I'm going to put that right there is what I'm thinking. So let's do the graphic first. Same thing, we're gonna take the back off. This is nice and dry. We're gonna stick it on. We're not gonna touch any of the design. So you can see this is gonna show through whatever color you have here in the middle. All right, I'm gonna line it up with my mat. Hopefully I've got where, yes, where you can still see. And then I'm gonna push it to the top because I know I wanna put that wording on the bottom. Oh, that fits nice. That fits nice. I wasn't sure. You never know. I know. Elizabeth, are you one that ordered a lot of blocks? Like somebody ordered like 12 blocks. I know they were spending their crafty cash, and that's totally how I would do it too. It was super smart. But yeah, there's been orders, lots of orders with blocks. Where'd my transfer tool go? This is what I found out why. Oh, okay. Elizabeth has the answers for us. Okay. A 2x4 isn't really a 2x4. Without the rough edges that went in, oh, it went in as a 2x4 of rust swan wood is now a tongue tripping 1x5 by 3x5. I told my husband that. I bet they just did it, called it a 2x4 because it's too hard to say 1x5 by 3.5. Having lost it approximately 1/4 inch on all sides to the planer. Once upon a time, a 2x4 is really were a 2x4. Thank you, Elizabeth. It was you that ordered all the blocks too. Thank you for, so we have a lesson because I was like, I was so mad. I was trying to tell my husband because that was, you know, when I'm trying to tell him to cut the blocks and he's like, oh no, it was the signs because we had to cut the signs for this month's kit, which I'll be, for February kit. So we have these planks of pre-weathered aged wood and we had to cut them. And so him and I were getting in an argument because I was like, no, it's supposed to be this and this isn't right because the first set of wood that I ordered was like way too small and I was totally confused as to why it wasn't what I needed. And so then he gets out the tape measure at the kitchen table and he's like trying to tell me about this man math and I'm like, well, why don't they just call it what it is if it's not actually a 2x4? And then he kind of said the same thing, like when they cut it, you lose whatever. Because also when I was having him cut the signs for this month, I don't want to give too much away. The wood bases for the signs for this month, he was like asking me, we were trying to figure out how many signs we could get out of one of these boards. And see, these are things that I don't think about. He's like, well, every time we make a cut, like you lose a little bit. You lose whatever that, I don't know what it is, 1/4 inch or something that the saw like grinded away. And so I thought we could get more per board than we actually could. This is why he does all that stuff because I can't handle too much. I cannot handle too much math. For reals. All right, so then we're going to come in with our John 3:16. We can do it like at an angle like it was, but I think just kind of centered there at the bottom. What's nice is this is actually the edge of the paper, so we can use that to make sure we get it on straight. Crafting, and you learned a little lesson on wood today. Elizabeth says she got all those blocks for gifts. You're so smart, Elizabeth. I had one lady that was so excited that we got that extra shipment of the ornament makers because she's already getting a start on her holiday crafting for next year to resell. All right, I think I got that on there. I can't wait to take a picture of these next to each other because they're so cute. All right, again, this one, like we mentioned before, these are all little individual, like each one of these letters is individual. So we do want to make sure that they're all on there. We're not going to pull it before it's ready. Otherwise, we'll either lose one of our letters or we could make one of the straight lines could end up crooked, and we don't want either of that. Ta-da! Oh my gosh, it's so cute. All right, I'm just gonna get my little trash out of the way. Okay, I love that we just did like a little audible, and how cute are these two together? So cute. We've got our little block sign, and then we've got our cutting board here. You could use these together. You could use them separate. This is just so fun to be on your desk, like an office. I might keep this one. I say that every time. I can't. I'm supposed to be selling this stuff, but I end up keeping it. So I have like everything all here. I have my little hearts we made the other day hanging behind the desk. And then if you haven't seen what the postcards look like on a block, just because I'm thinking about that, this is why they're cut. They're cut to fit the love letter postcards, which you could do front and back. I never even did the back on this one, but that's why they're this size, so they fit this. But obviously there's more that you could do with them than just the postcards. And then what else we got? I think that's it. We've been doing so many things, but I'm going to wrap this up so I can take pictures of these. We do have, the blocks have been reloaded on the website. We also have a few of these left. I think there's like 7 or 8 of these left. If you want these little thin ones, these little thin cutting boards. And how cute is that? So I just love it. Oh, Karen says so cute. She can't wait to see the close-up pics. I'll go make it look pretty, and I'll take some pics for you guys. But that is it for today. I will be back. What are we doing? I think next week we're unboxing the kit. I just was getting everything ready for Megan to take pictures of it. So I'm super excited about that. And then right after this, I have to actually record the tutorial for it. So I got to jump off here. But I want to thank each of you for watching. I'll take pics and get them up. But until next time, happy crafting.